Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, hello, wherever you're watching this from. My name is Alex, this is my YouTube channel, and I hope you're happy to be here. I am extremely nervous and anxious making this video because I chose to be outside today, and it's quiet for now, but I know a lot of people use this road, and I'm just like, the thought of filming in public. Anyway, we're here, we're committing. I like the lighting, and it's a nice day outside, so let's do this. Ooh, the sun's coming out. It's perfect. Yay. Okay, so the idea for this video came from two places. The first being an article that my friend sent me. I'll link it in the description. And it's about how the author feels like time is moving so much faster the older that you get, and that our perception of time the perception of time that we have changes so drastically over time because of various different reasons. But I also think, my personal opinion is that it's because of everything we fill up our lives with. And ideally, that would be positive things: spending time with family and friends, like nourishing yourself, doing hobbies and interests that you love. But I think for a lot of us, myself included, a big chunk of our time is our jobs. And that's part of the reason why it feels like time is just going like this. And the second inspiration came from another creator here on YouTube. Her channel name is Cleopatra's Mind, and she did a similar video about the end of the year, and I was inspired by that. So the reason that I bring up time is because it's October already. What? And I was thinking about the last few months of the year, commonly referred to as Q4, and what I have planned for it, and locking in, as the kids would say. So for myself personally, I don't really ascribe to, or I'm not motivated by a drill sergeant type of productivity like podcast bro, gotta get up at 5 a.m. Nothing against people who do that, but the times that I have tried to be very strict with myself without practicing self-compassion, I just ended up failing in whatever goal it was that I'm setting for myself. And so I'm trying to do something different this time and approach it with a gentler mindset. The weather feels so good right now. It just started getting cooler after a monster summer here in Japan. So it's been so nice to enjoy. I knew that was coming. Anyway, on to my first point, being consistency in terms of my exercise. I'm looking down at my notes because when I make these videos, my mind just blanks. So, because of my job, I'm working at a eikaiwa, a conversation school here in Japan. I start work in the afternoon, which there are pros and cons. I think I still prefer a job that starts in the morning and ends in the afternoon so that I can wind down in the evenings according to my own schedule. But what's nice about this one is that I do have a lot of time in the morning, so I can get in a really good workout. And recently I started jogging against my will. I don't like running. Why am I running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
If you're not being chased. But here I am, subscribing to the jogging. I've been influenced to jog. And it's actually been really good. I hate to admit it, but it feels good. I feel my body getting stronger and I'm gaining more stamina. And the benefits outweigh the cons. So I'm going to stick to it. So the goal right now is to move my body like consistently in terms of a workout at least 4 times a week, because I'm pretty active in my job. I work with kids, so I'm always running around. So I'm not too worried about being sedentary in my work life. But I'd like to be intentional in terms of setting a workout routine. In the past, I have been able to stick to 3 or 4 days a week. But now I know it's going to get more tricky because it's cozy weather. I am going to want to stay in bed longer. And that's okay. I'm also open to giving my body what it needs, which is rest. This is the season of hibernation. But as far as I can, and as far as the weather allows, I'd like to get out and be in nature, kind of nature, at least 4 times a week. Gosh, this leaf just fell down here. I'm going to keep this. I actually want to read what I wrote down here about cycle syncing because that's part of the first point in terms of being consistent with my routine. About 2 years ago, I started cycle syncing and it's been really beneficial. I know that there are a lot of trends and phrases that go on the internet and people jump on a bandwagon of sorts, but this actually, cycle syncing is real. So what I wrote here is that part of why I think cycle syncing is so successful for me is because it's rooted in understanding your body and its systems. To me, that's inherently supportive, kind, and even empathetic. You slow down when you need it, and you push harder when you feel more energized. And so, what that looks like for me is prioritizing things like cardio, which include jogging or dance workouts, when I'm feeling my most energized. And I've lived in Japan for 3 years now. Originally, I'm from South Africa. There is a hair. Okay, I got it. Originally, I'm from South Africa. So we don't have changing seasons the way that it happens in Japan. We can feel our summer and we can feel our winter, but autumn and spring are usually very fleeting seasons. And temperature wise, at least where I'm from, it doesn't fluctuate that much. So coming to Japan, you really feel when winter is coming because, I mean, the sun is already almost down and it's like 2:30 p.m., which has been an adjustment and the bane of my existence in winter. But where was I going with this? Oh, yes, I was saying, especially in the autumn seasons, I find that I have less energy in general to expend. And so when I do feel energized, I try to prioritize being outside and doing cardio and really getting active. And then during my luteal phase and also when I'm on my period, what is that called again? The menstrual phase, of course, is when I usually try to really slow down and do things like yoga and Pilates that are much slower on my body. And that for me is still a work in progress. I keep wiping my sweat because I'm sitting in the sun and I don't want to glisten too much on camera. It's a work in progress because I still have a kind of toxic mindset when it comes to working out because I feel like it's not a valid workout if I didn't sweat and if my body doesn't hurt the next day. But it's also so funny because it's kind of a double standard. If my friend tells me that they did yoga today and that it was chilled and it didn't push them to their limits, I wouldn't be hard on them. Like, I would be kind and I would say, yeah, that's good. You moved your body and you felt good about it. But I still struggle to extend that kind of thinking to myself. And so that's something I'd also like to work on. But that was the main point, is that I really focus more on listening to my body. Oh my God. I'm fighting for my life for this video. I hope that bug was okay. I hope it didn't die in my lash. And then I'm going to combine the next 2 points because they're both more fun and hobby orientated. So recently there has been this trend going on called I can't remember the term specifically, but it's something like a personal curriculum or like a school, like you make your life a university and then your hobbies or the things that you're interested in are your courses and your curriculum. And that kind of also influenced the idea for this video. And one thing that the specific podcast that I was listening to was mentioning was cooking, and specifically cooking something that you've never cooked before, trying different recipes. And I want to adopt that as well. So a goal for my Q4, I was going to say for the rest of my life, but let's start small. For Q4 is to try at least one new recipe every month. I'd like it to be a bi-weekly thing where every Sunday I'm trying something different. I was thinking about it the other day, and for all the time that I've spent in Japan, I have never tried cooking Japanese food. I know, don't shoot me. I'm trying to be better. But so I'll start with Japanese cuisine and then maybe move into other East Asian and Asian in general dishes. And then also experiment more with dishes from my home country and my home continent. Like, I think I'm so blessed to be from Africa where cuisine is so varied. And then I'm in Asia, that's the same thing. You find so many different kinds of food. So I really want to take advantage of that. And then the second, like, sub point under this heading would be reading. Sorry. I have to check my surroundings at all times. I may be in Japan, but I'm still a South African woman. I have a stack of books on my desk that I think I only read one book completely and then one like halfway through. And I want to do better. Because let me tell you, when I was in high school, right. Yeah. Right. The way I would read in high school as if my life depended on it. I remember I finished the first Twilight book over a weekend, and then the entire, what is it when there's 4 books? Because trilogy is 3. But the entire set of all of them within the next week. And I know I'll never be able to go back to, you know, the prowess that I had, like that level of reading, because I just don't have the free time for it. But I'd like to get to a point. I put down a note here for at least 2 books towards the end of the year. Preferably, I'd like it to be fiction and non-fiction, but I changed my category to what I have right now. I'd like to finish the books that I have right now before I go out and purchase more and just create more hoarding in my apartment. So I'm excited for that one. I think it'll be fun. And I'm always on a mission to get off that damn phone as much as possible. So this will also help with that. Alrighty, we're on the last point, and it's right about time because I'm I'm ready to go eat. I misjudged how hungry I was going to get while I record this, because I had to move the camera a couple of times, and I had to move this spot as well because there was an old grandfather, I assume, who was busy in his garden, and I didn't want to sit too close to him as well because I don't want to disturb his garden time. I'm trying to be mindful of his space here. So, last point is more of a financial point, and it's about budgeting and specifically debt eradication. So when I first moved to Japan, the program that I was with handled all of my deductions, and then when I moved jobs, I made the foolish assumption that that job would do the same, the one that I currently have, and they didn't, which was completely my bad. But as a result, I fell behind on some really important payments, and this quarter I would love to get those done. I'm a person that likes to handle things, like square things away as soon as I can, and a lot of things in life don't work that way. So I'm also trying to learn to be more flexible to the things that I can't control. But I feel like this is something that I can definitely take on, and I want to get it done. If you've ever been in debt, like, I'm sure you know what it feels like. It feels like a weight on my shoulders, and I just want to get it away from me. And I think an extension of that is looking for alternative sources of income. Nothing makes me want to vomit more than the idea and the phrase of multiple streams of income, because why do we have to do more than one job in order to survive? Like, those are thoughts for another video. We're in this system called capitalism, and I have to make peace with it. I'm still struggling. Maybe one day I'll get there. But while I'm here, the things that I like to do, unfortunately, cost money. Things like traveling, good food, learning, furthering my university degrees. All of these things require money, unfortunately. And so, because of that, I'm always looking at ways to diversify my income. One of them being this YouTube. And I was letting myself just think about building on the skills that I already have while also looking into some new avenues, some other interests that I have, and then going from there. I'm struggling to put this point into words, but the point is more bands, more bags, more bread. We're trying to get rich. Well, not really. Eat the rich. Allegedly, it's a joke. It's a YouTube video. Don't do that. I think that's about it. So if you've made it this far in the video, thanks for sticking around. I would really appreciate a little like and a little subscribe. Just a teeny one, just a teeny weeny little subscribe to my channel. Thanks. It really helps the algorithm and it helps feed an African child, me. Yeah, I'll end it off here. I'm hungry. If you are taking on any new goals for the last few months of the year, good luck. And my only piece of advice as a stranger on the internet with birds screaming behind them is that you be kind to yourself and remind yourself, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that this is the time that nature starts slowing down. In general, we're heading to the end of the year and a lot of people are tired, so be nice to yourself. You don't have to do everything humanly possible within the next 3 months of the year. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, enjoy summer. South Africa is so fun in summer. I can't. I don't want to think about it. I'm gonna have fun here in Japan. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.